The dawn of a new and perilous night begins as one Mr. West, a man of no noteworthy profession or direction, finishes his humble meal of charred roast beef and rosemary redskin potatoes. He chokes it down and almost dies as a fork full catches dry in his throat. He is not so lucky, no. Mr. West, escaping asphyxiation, is still doomed. Doomed to another night of nightmares, most unsound, least of all profound. With a stagger, he steps into his living room to binge-watch another season of TV dramedies, whilst quaffing ale till his eyes grew heavy and it was time for his evening meds. Pills for his back, pills for his nerves, pills for his mood, and one for his dreams. The shrink explained that this last one, prazosin, might ease his somniferous, slumbering terrors that continually racked his body and mind with fits and frozen sweats most unkind. The handful of pills went down easier than the last bit of beef. It's true, still, he was not brought semblance of comfort nor ease as the minutes went by, and he watched out the window as the waning moon traveled throughout the evening sky. One last stale, acrid cigarette before bed. One last taste of reality before crashing through the gates of oblivion. And there it is, the antediluvian, seamless universe. It finds Mr. West once again. Bile boils in his viscera as Mr. West finds himself hand in hand with his long-lost love, Belle. Belle, who killed herself 5 years ago, a victim of what antiquated psychiatrists would have labeled a monomania of pride. I can only take you this far, she says, her body dissolving to desiccated sand and silt until she's finally gone. There, on the horizon, be it in blackened darkness, thy quiescent hometown of youth. Can you see the city water tower rotting away, Mr. West? Can you see the old maples upturning the sidewalk, tangled in the power lines and looming over the street? And yet, still, you continue on, knowing the hazards that come your way. Listen to the thunderous din of tornadoes whipping in the far-off reaches of distance. You drift from the road and find the seemingly propitious sickle pear trees, heavily bent with their red-green fruit. Smell the sweet air around them, thick with bees and wasps and bald-faced hornets. Do you dare disturb them? Do you dare disturb the panting shadow of a dog tied to the tree? And are you surprised when you pluck the blighted fruit of tomorrow and everything comes to you all at once? Take one last breath, Mr. West, as the dirt falls away beneath you and you are buried underground in ethereal perpetuity. Take one last harrowing breath, Mr. West, for your eyes, they shall never open again. not long ago at the crest of a particularly cold and damp October eve. A man, or rather the haggardly shell of what could have been called one, came to his remaining senses. He came to under the cracked and crumbling concrete bridge that led across the river. For reasons he was unaware of, he could not ascertain what brought him there, whiskey notwithstanding. Or perhaps it was something else entirely. His mind was bereft of memory. The man, Mr. West, arose to his feet and shook the decaying brown leaves from his hair. A matted, mottled mop of red and black and gray. And as the leaves fell to the mossy soil, peppered with gravel, a breeze caught them, and they were thereupon waywardly carried away. Mr. West blinked rapidly as his vision returned to him. Over the course of an hour, it was then that it truly occurred to him that he was somewhere he'd never been. Though for some bizarre reason it seemed hauntingly familiar. Had he been here in a dream? He did not know. Not that he tended to remember his dreams anyway. So he did his best. He did his best to scale the inclined hillside nearest to him. As he slipped on an old Coke bottle, carelessly cast aside, he stumbled and then almost tumbled back. Mr. West repeated those same perilous steps, and as he did so, he dug through his pockets, perhaps to find a clue as to the nature of the events of the last number of hours. Inside his right shirt breast pocket was his phone. Its screen was cracked and in ruin. In his pants pocket was his brown leather wallet and a broken strand of rosewood rosary beads stained with deeply dark burgundy. I pray that is wine, Mr. West declared to the winds. Then he noticed similarly sinister spots on his tattered khaki pants. With more still coagulating on his wing-chip alligator shoes. In that instant, the spherical, carved beads, they fell to his feet. And they fell and crashed, and he struggled to recollect and realize what had happened, or moreover, what he had done. And it was a shame to say that Mr. West never woke up, because he had died in his sleep, and there was no one there to mourn him. Another night, a man so broken. Mr. West, a man now awoken and perspiring. He was shaking and wondering, why does this happen to me every night? never ceasing, spiraling me towards grim, despondent infinity. And though I awaken the beast, it remains with me, with my core, convulsing my soul to a point where I can no longer ignore the terror that continues to rack my brain into perpetual carousel spinning. A spinning no medication can medicate or mediate. Then came a crashing. Mr. West heard it ripping through the parlor walls, and it thereupon came into his bedroom. And so did Mr. West arise from his dusty covered bed and threw back the curtains, perhaps unwittingly, simply by reptilian mid-brain reflex. "Is that you?" absently inquired Mr. West, grabbing his phone. He continued forward with LED screen alit, a blue-green spectral glow to light the way. He continued forward, in, through the stately manse. It was the manse his mother left him when she passed into the never world of the never, the ether, the realm beyond comprehensive imagining. The place we all go when we pass. "Is that you, Belle?" Mr. West asked, the malevolent apparition unwitting, especially unwanting to reflect upon. Belle, another lost soul, the lost love of his life. Instead, he found himself thrust upon by writ of the mad old gods. One such as Cruciate, the ones whose very breath bakes and boils the magma. That's the heart of the world. The mad old gods, forever unknown by our time and our trials and our tongues. Mr. West, he knew these old gods, though not especially by their names, but by the fruit of their machinations, the perversions they sang to him in his sleepless REM, drifting away. Drifting away from sanity daily, Mr. West, suffering still, now finds himself once again in the antediluvian seamless universe. He finds himself in it once again, yes. Once again, drifting, spiraling in the darkness, he finds himself once more trapped in the darkness, in an unfathomable, unbearable, unredeemable reality of insanity. An unrequited, hermetic revelation. He finds himself, he finds himself lost forever in the unending ravenous cascade of darkness. Wake up! Mr. West, a man of no noteworthy profession or direction, opens his eyes. Is this reality, a dream, or something in between? Mr. West found himself outside, sitting and smoking in the sun, sipping whiskey-infused tea on his back deck. He took another sip and scratched his beard, and thereupon wondered how he got here. Apoplectic, narcoleptic, a man so
doubly eccentric. Hello, Mr. West. Boom. A voice. It was a voice belonging to a minuscule, long-tailed sparrow that was, until this very moment, professing its tinny, chirping song of springtime. "I've been waiting for you," said the bird, making itself known at 30 hopped on over to the bottom steps of the cedar deck. "Today, Mr. West, is a new day." It spoke, and you know what that means. "No," replied Mr. West disconcertedly. "I do not." He brought the mug of liquored tea to his lips and found it to be replaced with a most bitter salt. Instead of azacar, alkaline lies, intestinal cries, and a host which denies it all. Dost thou hear or heed the call? It is the call of the nightmare steed of nothingness. The call of the madcap, capering jester wizard in possession of a name so unmentionable that it is unknown to those with merely mortal minds. Be kind, this will only hurt for a moment. Mr. West, now realizing his peril, he shot up off the black milk crate, whereupon he sat and started running like he never had before. And that was when he witnessed the manticore as it exploded from the soil before he. Lion head, goat head, serpent tail with an additional snapping, biting, venomously fanged skull given to blood fancy, and the harvesting and consumption of fatuous forgotten souls. It was there, at the gaping maw of tomorrow today, that Mr. West bent the knee in supplication, only to be devoured by the triplicate mouths of madness, only to find himself in another nightmare. A nightmare on repeat, everlasting, unceasing, uncaring. The darkness beckons, the darkness calls, the darkness calls out, it calls out to thee. It calls out in its haunting, out-of-phase, discordant banshee wails. When all else fails, I advise that when the knock comes and you hear the call, you do not answer the door, no matter what happens or what crosses your mind. Do not answer the door. Do not answer the door. And never sleep again.
Another dream, it seems. Another glimpse into what lies in between the world of ours and the world of those. A man once so named Mr. West, a man taken from his taut and languorous REM reverie, taken and thus thrown headlong through the portal between the worlds, to the desert realm of the windswept plains, the mountains and the elevated horizontal plateaus. Sand, stone, granite, cacti, depressed, dry, shallow riverbeds, effluviant with silt rather than stream. Don't worry, Mr. West. It's just another dream, another nightmare, inner space imprisonment, going everywhere and nowhere, all at once. The signs of death are everywhere. Ominous portents. Skeletal ospreys battle over a desiccated fish. From where was there ever such a source of water to nurture and bring forth the bounty of nature? The grim shadows overhead. They dance and expound on these growing hints of fear and apprehension, while his steps, Mr. West, they grew heavy during the unsteadied march into the illuminated, sun-bleached world of darkness. Footsteps dragging and plodding into crisscross zigzag eventualities. His wingtip shoes, they crumble to dust beneath the weight of the walk until there was nothing left to protect the whole of his toes and soles. Ominous portents, ominous for he and not for they. They, the nameless. They, the embodiment. They, the engineers of otherworldly, inescapable dreamscape architecture. They, the inventors of the aberration and all that cometh from it. Subconscious dimensional separation. Blink. Mr. West's eyes opened truly as he was thence roused by a need to vacate his bladder. And so he leapt out of bed, racked by the frenzied grasp of tendrils within. His eyes protruded, his heart a flightless hummingbird, his spinal column electric, and in spasms convulsing, threatening to carry it into the void. By hand of dream or death signs, somnolescence. Either or would do for the dark god cruciate, and the otherwise unnamed otherworldly aberrations, for it is they who are the harbingers of death. For Mr. West, a man of no worthy direction or
Let's go off on a new life together.
his heart beget revelation at the salient cusp of ultimate destruction. We'll have to see how Mr. West lasts until the next one.
Gone too soon, Mr. West. Miss you so much. Don't know what I'll do.
There's different kinds of fear. There's primal fear, which is fear of predatory animals. There's the fear of the unknown, which is the greatest fear of all.
Mr. West, you were my brother from another mother. There will never be another one. I'm gonna miss you, Mr. West. I miss you.
which is sort of an ominous, sort of building fear of something.
And that's definitely something that I've been trying to harness for Mr. West's nightmare. What is the worst nightmare you've ever had? Or how about like what scares you the most?
Well, I used to have reoccurring nightmares growing up, and well, actually not growing up. I used to have growing up. I used to be chased by a clown, like which is kind of funny now. But after I got out of the military, I had a reoccurring nightmare where I was running from the police and trying to cover up a murder. And I used to have that one all the time. And I would always be in a dam too. Very strange.
That's crazy because I have a lot of dreams where I'm pursued by something. And when I was a criminal doing my crime and all that, it was the cops. Now it's more the undead and like revenants from my past. They come and they encounter me in these dreams. People that have died in my life, and they're just like horror. It's just pure horror, and they're chasing me and chasing me. And then I just either I slow in my tracks. I'm running in slow motion, and then I got something in my hand, and then it turns into something else. And that's what inspired me to do these scenes over here. Your novel?
Oh, sure. I'm a co-author with my wife of the novel, of the book series, Kiss the Messenger. It's a crime noir series based in Spokane. You can get it at Auntie's Bookstore or Giant Nerd Books or Atticus.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks for coming. Thank you. This is going to be great.